this might not be an arms race. This might not be the race to space. This might not be trying to build a hydrogen bomb, but there is a Cold War going on in New England between Kraft, Mayo, and Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick continues to just little jab. Kraft wasn't having it. Jerod Mayo wasn't having it. And we're going to break it all down here on Patriots Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And we're trying to grow this Patriots thing real quick. It's mid-season. We love the Pats here, and we're going to be breaking down daily content from the Patriots. So if you want to hear daily content from the Patriots, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Patriots owner Robert Kraft suggests he should have given Bill Belichick more checks and balances. So all of this starts with Bill Belichick talking about the plan Mayo has, and then we go on from there. We're actually going to kind of work backwards on the timeline from what we have seen. But Kraft told Bill Belichick he has earned the right over his 24 years with the team. He did great. What he did for us was great, and of course it was. I mean, came to the team. He was the one that decided to put Brady in instead of Bledsoe and kept Brady. Greatest show on turf, held them to 17. 6-time Super Bowl champion, had the greatest show on turf 2.0 with what the Rams were. Obviously, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and that bunch. Well, not the same thing, clearly, but held them to 3. We've seen a lot of great performances from Bill Belichick. He has earned the right to do what he does, but the results weren't there, and if you're in the sports business, you either win or lose. There's no gray, and I hate losing. And this is in reference to, obviously, the last few years of Bill Belichick. We didn't win anything. From the Cam Newton year, I mean, we had Brady, we lost to the Titans, and then we had the Cam Newton year. We had the Mac Jones year, we get to the playoffs, and then we don't let the Bills do anything but score touchdowns. We go from there, we get close to the playoffs, but then we miss the playoffs there, and then things just continue to go downhill. Mac Jones is a problem, obviously. Mac Jones was a problem. Was he given the proper backing and the proper support and structure around him? No, and that's due to Bill Belichick a bit. I mean, he didn't give the keys to the franchise to Mac and was willing to pull him and give him to Bailey Zappi for a bit because he just didn't trust the quarterback play. And if you didn't, then why take him at 15? Just build up the rest of the team and you figure it out. You did not need to be bullied into doing that. You're Bill Belichick. But you didn't seem like you really wanted Mac Jones in the building. But when we go over here, we see Robert Kraft talking about our record the last 3 to 4 years wasn't what I wanted. Of course it wasn't. How could it be? You obviously want to win. As you said, there's a gray area between winning and losing. And he said I had given him so much power that he had full control over everything. And shame on me, I should have had some checks and balances together. He was the GM. He was damn near the owner. He clearly was the coach, the defensive coordinator. He was the hiring all of personnel. Obviously, he's the one that brought Bill O'Brien in, old friend. He could bring in Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, old friend. I didn't like Matt Patricia as a defensive coordinator, let alone coming back as an OC with a special teams guy and Joe Judge, where both of them just got fired for not being good head coaches. And all of these decisions were Bill Belichick decisions. Obviously, Bill Belichick can coach defense like no other. He can draft defense like no other. We'll see some random guy from Rutgers or wherever, whatever college, some undrafted guy come in and make big time plays and big time performances. But when it came to the offense, he didn't draft great. We took Sony Michel over Nick Chubb, even though Sony Michel did run well for us in that playoff run I was talking about with the Rams. But again, Nick Chubb is kind of the better back of the two. And then there's just a bunch of picks we can just go to. But anyways, he had so much control in that building that's why you were never going to be able to bring in someone else. It was either fire Bill Belichick or mutually part ways, or it was going to be him just running roughshod over the place for a long period of time. But then we move into the Jerod Mayo portion of this, taking subtle shots into a little subtle shade at Bill Belichick. Obviously, the Patriots right now are 1-5, and Mayo a little bit in the crosshairs. Again, this team's not really that good. I hope no one in Patriot Nation's trying to call for his job or think this guy's not doing a good job. Obviously, they beat the Bengals week 1, and since then they had a close loss in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks. It's a pretty solid team. They lost to the Dolphins. That was a little bit of a tough loss. Obviously, the Jets played well against them. That's fine. Aaron Rodgers looked on a short week. Aaron Rodgers played well. The 49ers are one of the best teams in the league, even though they're only 3-3 right now. They're still the 49ers. Just went to the Super Bowl last year, and then they played a Texans team with a first start of Drake Maye. They lost 41-21. Few turnovers that led them quickly to the red area and going from there. And Joe Mixon played well coming back. The Texans are a very good team. But Mayo had subtle shots for Bill Belichick. Clearly, when he went on radio, clearly New England's personnel is not up to snuff. We know that. We've been calling for a number one receiver forever. The offensive line is not great. Hasn't been great since Dante Scarnecchia was there. We obviously have a good defense. We always have a good defense. That's naturally what they have, and Jerod Mayo wasn't going to let that slip. But offensively, we just don't have the pieces that these other teams do have. I mean, obviously, we see some of these rookie quarterbacks. We see Caleb Williams. They're like, oh, great quarterback. What do we do? Gonna get him Keenan Allen. We already got DJ Moore. We gotta get Rhamondre to go with him. Cole Kmet, a quality tight end, and we're gonna try to build the offensive line. Their offensive line hasn't been great. They even get DeAndre Swift in there to add a running game, and since the running game's actually taken off, the Bears look really good. Commanders, number 2 pick in the draft. Okay, you got Terry McLaurin. We've got Brian Robinson. We're gonna go get Austin Eckler. We're gonna try to make this offensive line look good, and we're going to get Zach Ertz as tight end. We're going to try to make this team flow quickly, and we're going to make sure that Jaden's put in the best positions to win. I understand we got Jalen Polk, that's a solid receiver, but we're Demario Douglas, solid receiver. We've got Hunter Henry. There are pieces. We've got, obviously, Antonio Gibson we did get, and then we have Rhamondre Stevenson. The pieces, though, we're missing a couple. Lack of talent. You go loud and clear. Ask Mayo about it. You tell me. I'm not going there. Clearly talking about the fact that Bill Belichick was the person who brought this in. And this also is coming off the heels of Bill Belichick questioning if he has a plan or not, and then also trying not to talk about Drake Maye and not wanting to actually break down Drake Maye and just going on talking about how bad the defense was against the Texans, one of the best teams in the league. And then we're going to move into Bill Belichick talking about that said plan. We'll see what the plan is. I have no idea what it is. This is after the 49ers loss. We get it. I promise you, we get it. We understand that things are a little different over here in New England. But, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what the plan is, so I don't know. I can't comment on that. If Mayo says he's got a plan, then I guess he's got one, and we'll have to wait and see what it is. I don't know. Well, Bill, what was your plan? What did you have? What were you doing? I understand that you were trying to, after Brady, you wanted to go win another thing, but what were we doing? We didn't have anything. We're going to play defense well, and then offensively, we're going to try to win games 14-12. That was not going to work in today's game. You didn't actually get the pieces you needed. We have money every year. Money's never an issue. I understand you went on this whole brigade of I'm going to get Hunter Henry, I'm going to get Jonnu Smith, we're going to try to maybe reincarnate what we have with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, we're going to get these third level, we got Kendrick Bourne, we got some other receivers as well. It's like, we're fine, we got some pieces there that were solid, but we didn't go out and get, not specifically, we didn't get a Brandon Ayuk, we didn't go get a T. Higgins, we don't get even Amari Cooper, who just moved to the Bills. We didn't get Devontae Adams that just went to the Jets. Obviously, that was a little different situation, but big receivers that are there, we're just not going to get those guys. Calvin Ridley, I know the Tennessee Titans kind of overpaid for him a little bit, but still a quality receiver in the league. Obviously, for years back, you got A.J. Brown getting traded to the Eagles. That was great for them, but there's just a lot of this player movement at the wide receiver position that we've needed for over half a decade that we've just decided, we don't really need it. Don't know why. Don't understand it. But it's cool. That was talking about the plan. Now we're throwing shade at Drake Maye, and we're wanting to talk about that on the Coach podcast that he has. We have Michael Lombardi teed up Bill Belichick to weigh in on Maye's debut Sunday versus Houston. Belichick wasn't really even allowed to give that take, as Lombardi steered the conversation straight to the defense. We don't want to talk about Drake Maye, and we're just going to talk about the defense. Cool, great. Lombardi, but all the talk about the quarterback, you give up 41 points. Everyone thinks the quarterback is the major wand. Pointing out the Raiders made the change from quarterback before getting torched by Pittsburgh. Well, let's talk quarterback real quick. Tom Brady was there. We're a 10-win team every single year, perpetually in the playoffs. At 8-year run of the AFC Championship game, 9 Super Bowl appearances. Sorry, Brady has 10. 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 wins, always close games. You don't have a quarterback, 0 playoff wins, under 500 record. The defense was still really good. Why was the offense not? You could say quarterback play. Because with the same level of talent and weapons around Brady, as they weren't going to get to a Super Bowl really, they still got to the playoffs. So what are we doing here? Of course quarterback play matters. It's the most important position in all of sports. And then Bill Belichick, quarterbacks don't play defense. Some people lose sight of that. Of course they don't play defense. You need good everything. And the Patriots defense has been good this year. They played when they allowed 10 to the Bengals. They allowed 23 in overtime to the Seahawks. They allowed 27 to a Jets team, and that was because the offense couldn't move a lick. They allowed 30 to the 49ers, and then they actually made it a little tough on the 49ers that game. But the 49ers are going to get 30. They get 30 on a lot of teams. And then they get 15 against the Dolphins, and then 41 against the Texans team that was rolling, got put in plus territory by multiple turnovers. As we see here, 743, 74% of his games won with Tom, 46 without him. But we're going to talk about quarterback play and how that's all that matters. With Drake Maye, the one thing he did say, you like the size, you like his arm, but the inexperience showed the preseason, a little bit at North Carolina. And the thing about it is Bill Belichick played against a lot of rookie quarterbacks, and he coached against a lot of rookie quarterbacks, and he was able to dissect them for a lot of the time. Bill Belichick against rookies, Bill Belichick was going to win 95 times out of 100. And so, as he's big and fast as an athlete, Drake may not be right in the ready position yet, and that's perfectly fine. But at the same time, Jacoby Brissett wasn't getting it done, and Drake Maye in his first start just played better than Jacoby Brissett pretty much in all 5 games put together. So we can't really hate on it. Drake Maye made some mistakes. Bad pick. He had the unfortunate pick. He missed some receivers, but he did also hit some receivers. We pushed the ball downfield. We're actually making plays. And this week against Jacksonville in London, we have the opportunity to do something very good and pass against that team. We've seen every quarterback this year has had their best games against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and if it's not their best, it's one of their best games. So we're going to see what this Patriots offense can be moving forward with an actual quarterback, and Jerod Mayo is backing Drake Maye, which is going to be great because you actually have a coach backing up the starting quarterback that's supposed to be the future. Bill Belichick, I understand that you are great, and you did so much great stuff for New England, but getting a little bit too pushy for me, and I'm not loving it. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about Bill Belichick's comments, if you feel like Jerod Mayo and Kraft are out of line, or if you feel like Bill Belichick's a little bit out of line. Let me know what you guys think there. This has been Patriots Digest with Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see you guys very soon.